Hey everybody, welcome back to Time Value Videos. And in this video, I realized that, my channel is called Time Value Videos, but I don't have any videos about the time value of money. And so I thought it would be a good idea, in case people are searching on YouTube for time value of money and they come across my channel but don't find any answers, I should probably have a series, just like a playlist of time value of money problems. And there's quite a few regular problems that come up in finance classes. If you're a finance student in maybe like an intro to finance class, or even if you're a ways into your academic career, you could come across bond valuation problems or other kinds of time value problems where they have kind of complicated scenarios that they give you. A really common thing that schools are doing now is doing it's called like a Connect homework or like a LearnSmart or something like that, where you do online homework, and those typically have the same example problems. And so I'm going to work through a couple of them. I'm going to start off simple, and I'm going to do a series of videos that will get more complex and more complicated as we go, but hopefully it'll fall in line with, if you're taking a finance class, it'll fall in line with exactly as you learn through the class. So the very first basic things we're going to do is going to be present value and future value of a single cash flow. And so the problems are going to be something like find the future value, right, FV, find the future value, and that's going to be computed by taking the present value, that's your starting amount, and multiplying. You can do a dot for multiply, or you can just not put anything. And then inside parentheses we have 1 plus r to the power of t, where r is our interest rate and t is our amount of years, our time. Sometimes you'll see this as an n, and sometimes you'll see r be an I or an m or something like that. I said I and I wrote t, but I, something like that. And so in this case, most of my examples, I'm just going to use r and t because that's what I learned way back when I took finance, intro to finance. But if you are using a different letter from your teacher or from your textbook or something, just feel free to do it however you want to do it. The basic idea is the ending balance of a savings or investment or something will be equal to the present value, which is the starting balance, times 1 plus the interest rate to the power of t, the power of time, with the number of years. And so for an example, one example we have, and I'll have the text show up kind of down here somewhere so you can read it while I say it. But so compute the future value of an investment of $100 compounded annually for 7 years at 12%. So basically we're going to try to find the future value, where we start with an investment, a starting balance, a present value, right? Present value of $100, right? We're going to start with that amount. And then we're going to grow it at 1 plus 12%. So I'm just going to write 12% to the power of 7 years, right? So the example says, so the example problem says growing annually, compounded, 12%. And so I'm going to simplify this 1 plus 12%, and we can write 12% is the same as 0.12, right? If we write it in decimal form. So that's the same as 1.12, still have in parentheses, and still have the power of 7, and we still have 100, and we're still trying to find our future value. Now, we have 100 times 1.12 to the 7th. Let's do this part first, because order of operations. And so 1.12 to the 7th, you can do that in a calculator. I've already done it, and it turns out to be 1.12 to the 7th is 2.210, and then I'm going to go 681. It just keeps going. So we're going to do that, and then that's times 100, right? And if we take this times 100, we just move the decimal over 2 places, and our answer becomes 221 point, let's go 06, 07 actually. Yeah, that's good. 221.07. So that's our answer. So 221.07. So that's the future value. And we can continue doing this. I'm going to do one more while we still have a little bit of time left on this. Let's erase this and go the other direction with it. So we just did how to find the future value. Let's go how to find the present value. So the question here is, how much would you need to invest in order to have $1,000 in 5 years if you can get a 3% return on your investment? And so in this case, we're actually going to take the normal formula is future value equals present value times 1 plus r to the t, right? And that's our normal one, but if we divide off this 1 plus r to the t, if we kind of treat this as all one thing, if we divide this on both sides, we go 1 plus r to the t, and then over here, 1 plus r to the t, right? These will cancel and leave us with future value over 1 plus r to the t, in parentheses, equals our present value, right? So now we have a formula to find our present value. So I'm going to erase this again, and we're going to start from the beginning. How much would you need to invest in order to have $1,000? That's our future value. We want to have $1,000 at the end. So $1,000, and we're going to use that same formula, equals present value, and we're going to divide by 1 plus r to the t. If we're investing for 5 years and we can get 3% return on investment, that means 1 plus 3% to the power of 5, right, for 5 years. Now we simplify this 1 plus 3%, so I'm going to say 1,000 divided by 1.03 to the 5th power equals our present value. And 1.03 to the 5th, I'm going to do that on a calculator real quick, and that equals 1.1593, and we have 1,000 divided by that will be our present value, right? So we got to figure out what's 1,000 divided by 1.1593, and you can just do that on a calculator, and it comes out to be 862.61. It's actually 6087, but 61 to round it. And so that's how much money you would have to invest if you could get 3% for 5 years in order to have $1,000 at the end of those 5 years. And so this is basic intro to time value of money. We're going to get into some more complicated ones in the next couple of videos, but just wanted something to start you off with so you're kind of familiar with what we're working with here. So that's present value and future value of a single cash flow. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.